The Saskatchewan Rush need to end a tough 5-game losing streak to keep themselves in contention for a playoff spot in the West Conference. Standing in their way tonight, the Vancouver Warriors, who are coming off of a big win over the Colorado Mammoth last weekend. It's the Warriors versus the Rush next. Live from Treaty 6 territory in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Welcome inside Sasktel Center. It's Cody Jansen, John Fraser, Sabine Ahmad with you this evening as the Saskatchewan Rush gets set to take on the Vancouver Warriors in a playoff-like game on Co-op Field this evening. Vancouver needs a win to stay alive. Saskatchewan, 2 games back of Colorado, 1 game back of Philly for the 4th spot in the West.
Yeah, this is the best time if they're going to do it. They need to snap this 5-game losing streak if Saskatchewan wants to stay in the playoff mix. Not getting a favor from Colorado last night as they did the deed against the Las Vegas Desert Dogs.
Vancouver coming off that big win over Colorado. 2 goals against the Mammoth. Chalked it up with 6 assists as well. Is that good? 8 points for Baller against the Mammoth last week as they took down the defending champions. Just a phenomenal talent.
Oh, he's what the Vancouver offense rolls through. He's going to be a dangerous thorn in the side for the Saskatchewan Rush tonight. But the Rush, they've got their own dangerous scorer, that being Robert Church. 74 points, 35 goals already this season for them. He's got to get it going early, though.
And the third member of our broadcast team this evening is Sabine Ahmad, who's standing down by the turf.
Cody, John, the Sasktel Rush are back at Co-op Field at Sasktel Center after a loss against Calgary last week right here in Saskatoon as well. Their last win was back in February, meaning they've been on a 5-game losing streak. When you talk about the team mentality and what they have to do to get into this game tonight and keep that win going for the next 5 games, it's just playing it like it's a playoff game. Having a conversation with some of the guys earlier during their warm-up, they talked about playing it 1 game at a time and with the mindset that it's a playoff game. They know how important tonight's game is, and they know how important the rest of the games are for this season. They've talked about taking those shots and making sure they're not gripping too hard, and basically their mindset is just staying focused on 1 game at a time, and you can tell that there is change in their mentality heading into tonight's game. Cody, John?
A West Conference rivalry. Rush Warriors. Playoffs on the line. Face-up is coming up next. The March to May on TSN is brought to you by Alterna Savings Credit Union. Visit alterna.ca to discover the credit union difference. By NLLstore.ca, a Fanatics experience, officially licensed everything. And by Guaranteed Rate. Now more than ever, you need the best. Time now for tonight's starting goalies, brought to you by Guaranteed Rate. Aaron Bold, the former Rush netminder, goes for Vancouver 3-2 on the season. 11.06 goals against average and a .787 save percentage. 200 feet away from him in the Saskatchewan Pipes, it's Alex Bouquet. Big 0-0, 5-7 on the season in his first campaign in Saskatchewan. 11.03 goals against average, .769 save percentage for the Saskatchewan Rush this season, who are looking to snap a losing skid while Vancouver has won 3 of their last 4, John. And I'll tell you, because Alex Bouquet got pulled after 3 goals against Calgary, how critical is it to Saskatchewan's success that he gets off to a good start?
He needs to get off to a good start there, Cody, as my cough button got stuck. He needs a good start here. He needs to get things going here for the Saskatchewan Rush. Taking a look here at our officials. Ian Garrison's crew chief. Brent Columby is one of the 2 officials. John Vandergitsen also, and don't forget, everybody's favorite shot clock operator in this building, the one and only Ian Wilson. But back to Bouquet. He needs a hot start, especially big tonight. He doesn't have the Eric Penny safety net, as he was a late injury in this one. No Eric Penny. In comes Lane Rushka as the backup.
On the stripe, Mike Messenger and Tyrell Hamer-Jackson. Refs ready, ball is down, and we are underway in Sasktel Center. Charlem Beatties He'll get it up the floor, and it's over to the Vancouver offense. Martel The lefty walks it down up top. Messenger is there as well. He'll flip it inside for Charlotte Beatty's. Ball's on the ground. And Holden Garland will run it up the floor. He's got Barnable on a partial break. Ryan Barnable on a breakaway all alone, and he's stopped by Bold.
Big stop to start it off by Aaron Bold, and a rebound. Another great chance by Dan Littner. Always Johnny in the spot.
Vancouver with possession. Glenich has Killen, who will run up the floor over the restraining line. Keegan Ball, the big man, 77 points on the season inside. Chase Scanlon's open and he scores. That one just sneaks through Bouquet. He fell back and thought he would have sat on it, but Chase Scanlon strikes gold first for Vancouver.
Disaster start for Alex Bouquet in the Saskatchewan Rush. We were talking about how much he needs to get the confidence of his team back after being pulled last week. And right here, he gets beat low to the far side. You said it, Cody. He thought he had it, but a short little bouncer gets up under the leg. A spot that Vancouver targeted a lot the last time he played. Teams having a look to see if maybe there was a crease violation. Looks clear, and disaster start for the Saskatchewan Rush.
Scanlon's got his 11th of the season, comes on the first shot of the game for Vancouver. This is the third meeting between these two clubs this season. Season series tied at 1 apiece, with the road team winning each previous matchup. Keegan Ball back on the floor, pick and set in tight feed, and a big hit laid by Messenger. And now Bobby Kidd III stepped back into Scanlon, who wasn't happy about getting run over by Messenger. Up the floor, Garland with it for Littner. Back down to Garland. Mark Matthews has it. Matthews, swim move inside. Shot got deflected, won't go. Dan Littner now back on the ball, and it'll be Saskatchewan possession as the old guys get on the floor. Scratches this evening for Saskatchewan, Isaac Enju and Mike Mallory, Connor Goodwin, and Matt Delmonico for the Warriors. Mark Matthews playing off the half wall. The lefty whips this one back, no righty available, and Vancouver's gonna run up on it with numbers. Charbonneau in transition, pass intended for the birthday boy, Brandon Goodwin, and it's over his head.
Birthday boy and loose ball machine, Brandon Goodwin.
Walter now pulls it back above the restraining line. Clark Walter as Dan Littner walks up on it. Saskatchewan now gets their fifth lefty on the floor. Walter with Race Dutch up top. Austin Medronic on the roll, has Littner, outside look, tries to go 5-hole, and Bold makes a save.
Aaron Bold with the start that we needed Alex Bouquet to have if you were a Rush fan. Bold back to his old tricks here in the building he knows so well.
Barker has Killen as he'll let the offense go. Barker's got a couple of goals in his past couple of games. Won't stay in play this time, though. Charlotte Beatty's bouncer on goal. Bouquet makes a stop.
That's the stop that Bouquet needed right there. Bouncer going low to high off the turf. Big arm save. Hopefully gets his confidence back here.
Connor McClellan in by himself, and he whips it wide. Solomon outside look, and the shot goes wide by Reed Bowering.
Bowering with the wide shot. Another one of those players that we're going to have to watch out for a little bit in transition. He likes to push the pace here, and he's done so pretty successfully against the Rush in a couple games.
Mark Matthews has Austin Medronic up top. Ryan Keenan will play it out of the corner. Littner on the restraining line. Austin Medronic now trying to cut around Barker. He's pushed to the outside. Hard pick set by Church. And they'll give Vancouver possession.
We talked pregame about how this team needed to play more physical if they wanted to snap this losing streak. And that's what they've been doing so far. A little bit more vinegar to them tonight, Cody.
Keegan Ball starts the offense. Charlotte Beatty's had a look earlier. Scanlon behind the cage, and now Sean Evans, two-time NLL MVP. Ball's pass is on the turf. Charlotte Beatty's is there, 2 to shoot, lane to fire, and Jarrett Smith puts his body on the line as he's got a weapon broke over his hand by Chase Scanlon.
The Winnipeg Jet, 14 points in his rookie year in the NLL so far.
Ryan Keenan, he'll wait some help, and Dan Littner's on the floor. Reese Dutch, the newest addition on trade deadline Monday finds Ryan Keenan, room to go low, and his former teammate, Aaron Bolt makes the save.
I believe they may have played together. We'll have to get our stats crew on that being me in the break. But Ryan Keenan trying to go betwixt the legs there of Bold, and again, he just knows how to have a good game in this building, Cody. He started strong again here.
Kyle Killen, 22 goals on the season. Martel now pass inside. Got picked up by Connor McClellan, and he wants to run. It's McClellan, it's Rubish. Connor McClellan, backhand scoop. Rubish is in tight, and he's stopped by Bold.
Well, if there's anybody that Aaron Bold doesn't know where he's going to go, it's probably Kyle Rubish. Not a prolific scorer in the league. Probably the best guy to ever play defense in this league, but not a whole lot on the goals. I liked what he did there. Stop, tried to go 5-hole. Great shot there by Rubish.
Low in for Charlambides. Adam Charlambides around Messenger, has to peel back, 9 on the shot clock. Vancouver near side corner, bounces it over. Keegan Ball, room to fire. Dilks is going to defend him. Pass one back over to Charlambides, 1 to shoot, and save made by Bouquet.
Another big save by Bouquet. A little bit soft on the first one, but he's been strong since then.
Alex Bouquet, third save of the game as we hit our first media timeout of the game. Vancouver on the board first. They're up 1-0 thanks to a goal from Scanlon.
Guaranteed rate loan officer.
Welcome back inside the SaskTel Center. An early 1-0 lead for the Vancouver Warriors over the Saskatchewan Rush. Losers of their last 5 in a row are the Rush. Now 2 games out of the final playoff spot.
Rush offense goes to work, held to just 2 goals in the opening quarter per game on average this season. Ryan Keenan now back pedal, trying to get around Bowering. He'll switch with Midski, and they'll shut him off. Pass over for Dutch. Not sure if he missed it or if the ball got deflected, but then a man steps in, and Tyler Condren got his arms up top, 1-on-3. Walter can't come up with the loose ball, and Vancouver will.
Reese Dutch not happy. He thought he got hit up high there, having worked with our official on the way down the floor.
They're not going to call it after the fact if we've learned anything this season or in the past 27 years of watching this beautiful sport, as Kyle Killen has Keegan Ball waiting up top, one of the most lethal offensive weapons in the West. Martel whips it far side, holding Garlick will defend. Pass got deflected off of a couple sticks. As you see Ryan Dilks playing his offside up top, the righty playing against Vancouver's righties. Technically doesn't happen.
Well, when you have such a young defense like the Saskatchewan Rush have, you got to get your veterans against guys like Bold.
Messenger takes the shot by himself. Bold makes a save. Rebound falls right in the slot, and Vancouver will run it back up the floor. Midski's there, up high on Bouquet as he gets ran over by Matt Beers, and the track meet continues. Boudreau up the floor, Lintner's down the middle, stopped by Bold, who's had a phenomenal start here, stopping 7 straight.
And he's 3-2 since joining the Vancouver Warriors late in this season. Probably wishing they had him early on.
Scanlon pushed back by Ryan Dilks, the Rush captain. Ball bouncer was looking to paint that top corner. Instead it ends up in the stick of Charlambides above the restraining line. Lowen on the run, finds ball back for Charlambides, can't catch it on his offhand. And now Rubish is just going to stand over it as the shot clock expires.
I like what the Rush are doing here. They're just putting their veterans on the veteran guys, the big scorers here for the Vancouver Warriors. Guys like Dilks and Rubish, they don't care what side they're playing. They're sheltering the rookies a little bit here on D, Cody.
Walter, they'll swing it around the horn for Austin Madronic. On the run to the middle, the Harvard kid. Reese Dutch now, former Colorado Mammoth, at least early this season. Ryan Keenan, outside look, off the stove, and now Madronic outside had his shot deflected as Robert Church has to peel himself off, and Condren gives him the old 2-hand punch to the noggin.
Lots of physicality between these two teams. Not something we saw a lot of in their last matchup, but the playoffs are basically on the line for both these clubs here tonight.
You gotta love it. Condren, the former Edmonton Rush, 2008 rookie, all-team. Pass back door, and what a save by Bouquet. Going right to left, Alex Bouquet stones Martel.
That might be one of the biggest saves that Bouquet has had in his last 6 or 7 games. That's the thing that's been lacking from his game, Cody. He's making a lot of the positional saves, hasn't made a lot of the sliding, athletic, spectacular saves like he was early on.
Mark Matthews has Reese Dutch there. Bouncer goes wide, gets it back himself, 6 to shoot. Dutch throws it down in the corner, and it's way over Dan Littner's head. No chance for him to pick it up.
He had pressure on him the second he had the ball. I think the Rush want to get it to Dutch a lot to get him settled in with this offense. Finally had a chance to practice with the team this week, and Vancouver seems to key on that early.
Chase Scanlon defended by Ryan Barnable. The Rush first rounder from 2021. Charlem Beatties wants to drive, wallpapered by Messenger, gets it back, get on a backhand, stopped by Bouquet. Now the ball's on the ground, and Charlem Beatties grabs out the driver, and then he takes a shot off the head, and he's on the turf.
Interesting to see if both guys are going here. Charlem Beatties gave Ryan Dilks a couple extra whacks, and Mike Messenger came out of nowhere, but got the stick up a little bit too high. You'd see that Dilks was already upset as he had turned around to confront Charlem Beatties, and then, we liked our wrestling references, it was the RKO out of nowhere from Mike Messenger, Cody Jansen.
2 minutes for cross-check is the call as you get another look, and you get one whack from Charlem Beatties, one on the back, and then Messenger gets him up top, and it's the helmet that comes off that sells it. And if the chin strap's on, possibly, does it pop off? We will never know. Keegan Ball is up top on the power play, 20 to shoot. Martel on his right side, walks in as Bouquet dancing, and he's stopped.
Bouquet is settled down, and that's going to be big here for Saskatchewan. But you mentioned it, Cody. Slow starts in the first quarters. Till the season.
Rubish with the bouncer. Garland got inside, and he's stopped by Bold.
Kyle Rubish looks like he should be playing out of the front gate tonight. A good scoring chance, a beautiful bounce pass to Holden Garland. But again, the first quarter slide continues for the Rush. You said 2 goals in the first quarter in games this year.
Sean Evans will play that righty crease slot on the power play. Charlem Beatties back out on the floor. Pass got knocked down by Dilks. And now the swordsman Ryan Dilks wants to run. 3 D guys up the floor. Jake Boudreau 1-on-2. Wisely waits it out in a veteran move.
Ryan Dilks and I have had conversations. He's not liked his point totals or the way he's played himself this year. From up here, he's looked pretty good.
Matthews, bouncer, goes wide and ends up in row number 2. What a catch by that fan. I don't know if you could see that on TV. Talk about MLB opening day. This guy might be getting a look. Vancouver still on the power play for the next 48 seconds as we get a look at this Bouquet stop. Warriors up by 1.
Alterna Savings Credit Union is proud to partner with the NLL. Visit alterna.ca to discover the credit union difference.
Let's do it one more time. Let's get the boys amped up.
And welcome back, 1-0. Vancouver still leading here on Lax Day in Saskatchewan and on the power play, Cody.
Vancouver on the power play for the next 38 seconds. Pass back up top. Ball has it. Fade away. Charlem Beatties room to fire. Goes stick side. I don't think Bouquet got a piece of that. So Vancouver. Oh, they did. They will say it went off of Bouquet. So now Bouquet takes that shot from Ball. Didn't move, but he takes it right in the stick, and he'll hand it off for Matt Beers. Beers, he'll run it. The wrap check. Got the ball on the turf for a second, but Matt Beers runs it up. Over to Mark Matthews. Matthews now, the back pedal. They got Keegan Ball caught out on defense. Couple of seconds away from being even strength here. Matthews now, cold shoulder into Condren. Stick breaks. Robert Church from Medtronic towards the middle. On the ground, Church has it back. 5-0 on Bold. It snuck behind him, but out goes to Brent Mitski.
Did that go off a post, Cody? It looked like it got between the pantaloons of Bold, but couldn't beat the red iron there for the dangerous Rush scorer.
Charlem Beatties has had multiple looks. The Warriors now out shooting Saskatchewan 9-8 in this quarter, and Scanlon double it up. He's got his second.
Won't be a power play goal coming moments after the penalty to Messenger expired, but the theme of the season for Saskatchewan has been terrible first quarters, and that's going to continue here. Scanlon, great shot while moving to go to the sidearm angle, changes the angle up there on Bouquet, almost becomes a low-to-low shot, and that's going to be Scanlon's 11th of the year. That is a hard spot to pick, but again, Just like last time when they were here, when they started this Rush 5-game losing streak, lots of low to low on Alex Bouquet has been the formula for success for Vancouver so far.
Third straight multi-goal game for Chase Scanlon, now up to a dozen on the season. He's got Vancouver's first 2 in this contest on Co-op Field at Saskatchewan Center as Brett Midsky, the former Rush, a 3-time NLL champion, awaits, and he gives it off for Keegan Ball, who will be defended by Ryan Dilks. The two of them play summer ball together with the Edmonton Miners. Scanlon on hat-trick watch. Bobby Kidd III pushes him over to Mike Messenger. On the run, Scanlon now low on Bouquet. He drops into it hockey butterfly style.
Almost had the hat trick there, Cody. Almost didn't give the broadcaster jinx, almost the broadcaster boost there, as I thought he had Bouquet beat from that angle.
Matthews has Ryan Keenan waiting in the corner. Lintner with it back for Keenan. Does it on the shot clock. Matthews will walk it towards the middle. Reese Dutch, 2-time NLL champ, towards the crease, and he scores. Reese Dutch goes airborne for his first in a Rush jersey.
I said it on our pregame show that I thought Reese Dutch was going to get the first one tonight. And just like you last week, Cody, I am right tonight. Reese Dutch has looked so much more comfortable tonight than he did last week. Finally had a chance to practice with his squad, see a little bit of film from last week, and this is what they brought him in for. Go to the net in a foul mood with purpose. He comes in, few good stick fakes on Bold, and puts it behind the former member of the Saskatchewan and Edmonton Rush as he goes airborne at the last minute. And I know they're taking a look up at the replay, but at least from our angle here at Saskatchewan Center, Cody, looked good.
Another face-off win for Tyrell Hamer-Jackson on the stripe for Vancouver. Him and Messenger will be dueling out. Both of them are on 60% on the draw this season. Scanlon towards the middle. Lowen now inside, room to shoot as Martel freed up some space. Back over to Sean Evans now. Evans to the middle, low again on Bouquet. This time he makes a save, no rebound, give it up, and he's gonna put it on a rope for Holden Garland. Garland's got a breakaway, all alone, trying to go top shelf, and it's wide, but Madronic has it.
I thought for sure that was gonna be Alex Bouquet's 3rd assist of the season. Beautiful pass from the big man.
Robert Church now, over to Matthews, trying to go short side on Bold, and he's stumped.
Matthews' favorite spot to go. Bold knows where he's going after lots of years of playing together.
Bold with the outlet intended for Brandon Goodwin. Former Buffalo Bandits draft pick back in 2014. Matthews will stay out on offense with 77 seconds left to go in quarter number 1. Flip inside, Keenan's got his stick held, couldn't get to it. Reese Dutch now has Owen Barker defending him. Madronic back for Dutch towards the middle. Dutch looking for his second. Ball might have got deflected. Keenan can't grab a loose ball, and the shot clock's going to expire as Reed Bowering's inching close to 200 loose balls this season.
That's absolute insanity for a guy that doesn't take face-offs.
Keegan Ball pushed back, fadeaway shot. He got it off short side as well. Hip high on Alex Bouquet, who makes another save.
They haven't gone anywhere upstairs on Bouquet. Every shot, all of the 13 so far have been down low or to the midsection.
Robert Church bounces one home with 33 seconds left to go in quarter number 1, and we're even Steven in Saskatchewan Center.
When you need a big goal, give Bobby a call. Robert Church coming up huge here for the Saskatchewan Rush in a must-win game. His 36th of the season. He just steps back, and bouncers, they're always gonna go. Steps back, great pass there to get everything started by Barnable, the rookie. Church just steps into one, looking like vintage Robert Church with that quick release and powerful shot. Picks his spot down low on Aaron Bold, and it's all square with 33 seconds left to go in the first quarter.
Messenger face-off win, he'll run it by himself. Thought about going, decided to pull it back. He did have Beers and McClelland with him, and now on the ground is Lintner as he took a shot there. They are not going to call it, but Alex Bouquet will head to the bench, and Jimmy Quinlan and company will run a 6-on-5 set here. So throw out 3 lefties and 3 righties, 6 on the shot clock, 6 seconds to go in the quarter. Matthews has Dutch cutting through the middle. Madronic now inside, bouncing 5-hole, and Aaron Bold with his 10th stop of the quarter. 0.3 seconds left, actually. I thought I heard a buzzer, but did Vancouver use their timeout? No, they're going to say the quarter's over.
Well, they shut the lights off in here,
We
Cody.
have 0.3 left, and it looks like the players are going to be walking off anyways. But we're back where we started. 2-2's the score, heading into quarter number 2.
Get game day ready and shop your favorite team's jerseys and merchandise. Head to NLLstore.ca to get all of your National Lacrosse League and team gear today.
Thank you, Sabine. Saskatchewan and Vancouver inside SaskTel Center, tied at 2 apiece. Chase Scanlon has 2 for the Warriors, who outshot Saskatchewan 13-12 in that opening quarter of play. Reese Dutch has his first in green to open the scoring for Saskatchewan, and then Robert Church has Saskatchewan's second.
And Bouquet might not have got the assist on the long bomb to Garland, but he does pick up one there on the Robert Church goal. And what has been the trend lately? Former Rush players doing well against their old team. Brett Mitski with an assist, and of course Aaron Bold coming in here and having himself another great night. You know, he'd love to do nothing more than walk out of here with a victory and keep Vancouver's playoff hopes alive. Because if Vancouver loses tonight, no playoffs for you, Warriors fans.
Messenger and Hammer Jackson back on the stripe. Tyrell Hammer Jackson went 4 for 5 at the dot. Messenger 1 for 4 in that opening quarter of play. Vancouver going left, Saskatchewan going right. As we got a penalty right off the draw, holding's going to be the call, and Hammer Jackson will go off, and Saskatchewan's power play gets their first look of the evening.
Well, Hammer Jackson and Messenger got into it right off the draw, as I thought it was going to be Messenger going, actually, as he got a little frustrated, as just like when these two teams played, although their stats are very similar, Hammer Jackson always seems to come out on top on the dot, but as he's going away, so now the Rush on a 2-goal run, a chance to stretch it out to 3 after Messenger takes his man down to the turf.
Ryan Keenan will send it up for Mark Matthews. He'll steer the ship on the power play. Robert Church is in tight. Matthews, little back pedal. Keenan sets a pick. Church up top, and he scores! Double it up! Pound your chest, Saskatchewan! Robert Church has his second.
To steal from you, put him on hat trick watch and put him on natural hat trick watch. 2 big overhand shots from Robert Church are the last 2 Saskatchewan goals. And this one, again, vintage Church, vintage Rush power play. Matthews draws the defense over, gets it to Church, who uses the man in the middle, setting up the screen. I believe that's Dutch to just hammer home that one. Pardon me, that's Keenan with the great pick there. Bull didn't have a chance. He didn't see it till it was behind him as Robert Church picks his spot.
Quick work of the power play. That was sitting on 46% coming into this contest. Now Messenger, spin move remote in front, trying to go low on Bold. Kick save, ball's in the corner.
Messenger is having a vintage Messenger game so far tonight. He looks angry, had a couple scoring chances, and just knocking everybody around.
Adam Charlambides had a couple of good looks in that opening quarter. 17 goals on the season. He'll drive out in front. Martel's there and he scores. Ryan Martel has his 14th of the season, and we're tied at 3.
Another shot low on Alex Bouquet, but that one of the quick stick variety, cutting across the crease. Just a bit of a blown defensive assignment here as he manages to get directly untouched towards the crease as Rubish overcommits just a little bit on Charlambides. That gives Martel the step he needs, and he quickly puts it behind Alex Bouquet to shut off the Rush momentum.
Bobby Kidd III almost got back there in time, and Rubish couldn't get his stick on the ball, and that's why Martel was able to get a little bit of extra time there and bury one behind Bouquet. Face-off violation called, as I think Mitski might have gave McClelland a shot, and so Saskatchewan gets a freebie.
Again, more physical play in this one. 2 teams knowing what's on the line tonight, Cody.
Off the side, Reese Dutch has it again. Littner will set in picks. Matthews keeps it hot. Ryan Keenan pass inside. Littner was getting pushed away by Charbonneau. Ball pops back in the air. Reese Dutch has it. 6 to shoot. Way downtown as Matthews pass over to Littner. Got the quick stick off, but it got blocked, and he almost had the rebound as well as him and Barker meet up in front of the Tim Hortons crease.
The Rush brought in Reese Dutch to be more of a physical righty on that far side for plays just like that, scooping up a loose ball and going towards the net.
Ball sends it for Charlotte Beatty's room to fire, and he's stopped by Bouquet, who takes that one in the left shoulder. Pass over for Garland, who tried to catch it and ends up back on the ground. Scoops it over, and now Ryan Keenan and Mark Matthews will go to work. NLL championship pedigree on the Saskatchewan side. And now it's the rookie, Austin Matronic, trying to flip it for Church, was a little ahead of him.
Matronic only 2 points in his last 4 games after a great start to his rookie year. A guy we've been high on since the beginning of camp. Struggled a little bit of late. Love to see him get on the score sheet tonight.
Vancouver will slow it down here. 3-3 in Saskatchewan Center. Low end back for Martel. Trying to go the opposite side this time as he gets thrown to the turf. But another good save by Alex Bouquet, who's now up to 13.
Bouquet's really settled in after a soft one in the opening minute of this one.
Matthews trying to go short side high this time in the opening quarter. Tried to beat Bold low on the short side. This time Aaron Bold 2 for 2 against the big 42. Dutch down for Dan Littner. Pass over to Matthews, and he bobbles it. It's on the turf for a second. Walter comes in, forces it free. Dutch's shot got blocked, and good defense by Vancouver takes away any opportunity. Now they'll run it up themselves. Bowering, man on the far side. Shot goes wide. Quick stick scores. Reed Bowering taps one home, and it's 4-3 Vancouver.
Picks it up off the missed shot, immediately off the end boards, and puts it behind Alex Bouquet. Another one, this is 2 in a row. Bouquet really didn't stand much of a chance on at all. The Coquitlam product with the quick hands off the end glass and just puts it on in there. Bowering, great goal there. You see that bounces right off. Bouquet can't get over in time. He tries, almost makes it over, but Reed Bowering's got his 5th of the year. A guy that likes to run it a little bit, maybe always doesn't get the results, but he was up there and he was Johnny on the spot this time.
We talk about Bowering as a defensive specialist, a loose ball machine, but let's not forget, he had 147 goals in college with Drexel in 57 games. So the man knows how to put the ball in the basket. As Vancouver were down 3-2 a matter of minutes ago, they flipped it around and they're up by 1, and they're looking to extend on that as Sean Evans will trot it down. Evans, seen his fair share of Saskatchewan and Edmonton, a longtime Calgary Roughneck. Evans wants to drive, pushed back by Garland. Keegan Ball, quiet early, but now he's got room, bounces it wide, and Bobby Kidd III scoops and sends Messenger on a break, and Messenger, one arm on his stick, couldn't catch it cleanly.
If he does catch that cleanly, though, there's nobody there as he had a step.
Matthews, short side again. Aaron Bold read him like a book and makes an easy left arm save.
Some point, especially against Aaron Bold, he's been your teammate for so long, you're going to have to go to the far side, Mark. He knows you love the short side.
Brandon Goodwin, the new West product, will slow it down and let the offensive experts exit the O-gates. Kyle Killen on the run, runs around McClellan. He puts this one up top, and Bouquet takes it around the shoulders. Outlet feed hits Keenan. Keenan now towards the cage. Not sure if it was behind Bold, but he runs into him.
He went airborne.
Call is coming, and now Condren and Beers are going to acquaint in the crease. Keenan ran into Bold. He'll check on him.
Yeah, you could tell Ryan Keenan he wasn't trying to go after the knees of Bold. Of course, that's always going to generate a response. He was pushed from behind, and that's actually going to be the call here. Keenan shaken up, Bold shaken up, but they gave each other a little stick tap on the way out. As Barker picking up an extra 2 on his way to the box for the unsportsmanlike conduct. He didn't like the call and must have crossed the line on his way to the penalty box, as we knew the check from behind was coming. That was pretty cut and dry, but obviously said something that offended our officiating crew, and he'll now sit for potentially up to 4 minutes, Cody.
Owen Barker now up to 20 penalty minutes on the season as Saskatchewan back on the power play. Robert Church has one already this quarter on the peeper. Matthews is up top, backs it up, trying to go stick side on Bold. Save made. Midski will battle for a rebound. Church and Lintner are on him. Now you've got the free pill on the pavement, and it runs out of play.
Brett Mitski not exactly happy with Dan Lintner. Gave him an extra little shot after that ball went out of play. It's physical. These teams don't like each other or are quickly growing a hatred towards each other, Cody.
9 seasons in Rush colors for Brett Mitski. Keegan ball now near side half wall. They got 3:27 left to kill in the Barker minor, barring any changes. Shots are 18-7 in favor of Vancouver. Ball wants to cut towards the middle. One arm on his stick. Jared Smith has to be careful. He got his free hand inside, but Saskatchewan picks one up.
I'm surprised that he got away with that. Our officials must have saw Barker holding it close or something, because that looked to me like it was a hold all over the Winnipeg Jet.
Lefty strong power play look. Church has Matthews up top. Those two will pass it back. Keenan to the middle, over to Church. Same look as he had earlier. This time he tries to go low to the glove side, and Bold kicks it out. Fresh new shot clock for the Rush to play with. Cam Sedgwick and company, they've changed up a couple of things on the power play. That's gone cold of late. Down for Dan Lintner. He'll await it by the crease. Robert Church, back pedal. Goodwin's up top, is with Condra to defend. Inside for Church, trying to go over the shoulder of Bold, and it's Clark Walter, the one they call Sparky, finds it a loose ball. Now this power play is extended. The Rush putting the pressure on, down by 1. Church for Matthews. Back for Ryan Keenan. Feeds it over. Church on the quick stack. Bold has it in his feet somewhere, and now Midski dumps Church, who's not too happy about that. And Vancouver, shorthanded, heads north.
The two former teammates getting into it right at the crease.
Evans now behind the back whip, goes up in the air as Ryan Martell grabs it, and this allows them to kill another dozen seconds or so. Fadeaway look for Riley Lowen, won't go. 5 to shoot, Evans still with it. Killen got tripped up by Beers, no call coming, and Beers will just rag it in the corner. He'll be full throat in the cold shoulder on Kyle Killen. 8:09 left to go in quarter number 2. Off to another TV timeout here in SaskTel Center. Vancouver up 4-3, but Saskatchewan is on the power play when we come back. Back in SaskTel Center, it's Cody Jansen, John Fraser, Sabine Ahmad with you. Saskatchewan on the power play for the next 90 seconds as Owen Barker's in the sin bin for Vancouver. Righty strong look on the power play now. Robert Church is up top. Matthews is on his right. Church will backpedal. Mark Matthews now down low crease. Lintner quick stick scores. Tie ball game. Dan Lintner on the power play has his 19th of the season.
A man who's been snake bitten, it seems, almost every game. Dan Lintner gets more high-quality chances than just about anybody. Finally gets a bounce to go his way as his quick stick from a sharp angle is going to get enough English on it and go behind Aaron Bold on the power play. Real sharp angle. Bold tries to dive over and get it. Again, Matthews with that great vision, and Lintner, you can see that goes underneath Bold with enough spin to go into the net. The way it's been going for Dan Lintner this season, I thought for sure that was going to kick out the other way and out of harm's way, Cody.
Dan Lintner now up to 6 power play goals in 2023. Holden Garland off the face-off, has Bobby Kind III. Throws it down for Mark Matthews. Defended by former teammate Brett Mitski, and Matthews throws it over the glass.
Bit of an unforced error there by Matthews as he hangs his head in shame as he heads back to the bench as that deflated the Saskatchewan offense.
Charlon Beatty's one-on-one with Rubish. Pierre steps in as well. Charlon Beatty still has it, rolls it wide. Lowen plays it off the backboard towards the net. Ball got knocked free by McClellan, and Jared Smith now had to be careful with the back end, but the ref lets him play, and so Boudreau runs it up. 3-on-2, Matthew short side scores. The mailman paints the top corner green, and Saskatchewan up 5-4.
You knew it was going to happen eventually. He's gone to that short side like he loves to. Now this is the 4th time he's gone there against former teammate Aaron Bold, and this time he gets him. But how about the heads-up play by Jake Boudreau to get that going? He sees Matthews coming off the bench, watches as the D runs towards him because he was heading towards Bold, looking like he was going to take that shot. Instead, dishes to Matthews, who finds a spot where there almost looked to be no room. A great vintage goal by the mailman.
Vancouver's coaches clearly not happy about the Jared Smith situation ever. They feel he might have stepped in the crease, but they will continue and let him play on. Ryan Barnable now, as Matthews tapes a cheap shot in front of the net. Takes one more for good measure, but it'll be Bouquet is not going to head to the bench, so it'll be 5-on-5. Ryan Keenan, a dozen to shoot. Down for Reese Dutch. Up top, Ryan Keenan, bouncer, scores! Ryan Keenan goes low on Aaron Bold, who needs a power play. Rusher up by 2.
Canceled out the penalty. You took the words right out of my mouth, Cody, with the penalty on the arm. Keenan goes, yeah, don't worry about it. I'll just score here. Even with it at 5-on-5, the Oshawa product, who was listed as questionable heading into this one, goes down low on Aaron Bold. I think Vancouver, they were reacting like they were waiting for that 6th man to come on. Everybody's head was kind of on a swivel, and Keenan got lost a little bit in the confusion. Takes the opportunity to just pick the corner, or pick the bottom part of the net.
And Hamer Jackson takes a face-off violation. He is not in the referee's good books right now. And when you're a face-off guy, that's not exactly what you want, especially when that's your only duty on the floor. Austin Medtronic now. That's Littner, tries a swim move. Rush have Clark Walter on the turf. He gets up and they'll play on. Medtronic now, pick set by Littner. Shot got deflected. Keenan's got to peel himself off the turf, and Brandon Goodwin is going to run it up with Charbonneau. Vancouver 3-on-2. Evans backdoor feed, and Charbonneau can't connect on the quick stick.
Looked like a grade A chance there, and again, Alex Bouquet coming up big as now both teams are up for the track meet.
Physical play has stepped up as well. Church down for Garland. He'll miss on the one-timer in tight, and now Robert Church has Clark Walter up there, balling it up on the turf a couple of times, but it'll be Warrior White that grabs it. Evans, quick shot off the bench. Bouquet will sit down on it.
You mentioned more physicality in this one, Cody. I can't think of the last time I saw the Rush spend this much time getting to the hard areas in that Vancouver offensive zone. Lots of time in the middle, lots of hits they're taking.
Reese Dutch now up to 11 goals on the season, newly acquired at the deadline. Second game in green. Ryan Keenan, pass got knocked down. Little flip for Matthews. Time to draw something up still. But Dutch, he was sitting in Warman right there, tries to find Clark Walter in front, and Brett Midsky has himself a free Lucy.
The veteran Dutch knew that that possession was going to end shortly, and he was positioned in the spot to get the D out on the floor and not allow that Vancouver transition attack.
Scanlon, he's on hat-trick watch. Outside, Charlotte Beatty's driving in tight with Martel, and here the train is Ryan Dilks was cutting on the tracks.
I mentioned in the first quarter, I love the fact that even though Dilks is playing his offside a little bit more tonight, Cody, he's been a matchup nightmare. I think that's a big reason that Keegan Ball has been quiet so far this evening.
Saskatchewan outscoring the Warriors 4-2 in this second quarter. Ryan Keenan now has Mark Matthews on the wheel, and he scores! Mark Matthews, top shelfer. Grandma keeps the good stuff, and Saskatchewan's up by a field goal.
Matthews having a vintage night tonight. Little extra spring in his step. You were at walkthrough this morning, Cody. You said it looked like a new team, an angry team, and that's what Mark Matthews looks like tonight. He runs towards the middle, goes airborne while also going high. That old little hop step that we've seen him do so many times cleanly beats Aaron Bold over the shoulder. He's got 20 this year and 2 tonight. And he's playing well for a team that needs to snap their 5-game losing streak.
Battle ensues on that face-off, and Bowring comes out of the pile. Saskatchewan 5 goals on 7 shots in this quarter. Warriors offense goes to work. 4:10 left to go in quarter number 2. Keegan Ball held quiet so far this evening. Charlem Beatty's wanted the low to low. Now he goes high to high. I think that went off a bouquet stick and possibly the crossbar.
It did. You called it, Cody.
Sean Evans has another loose ball, though, and the offensive possession is extended. Jarrett Smith and Bobby Kent III, a freshman and a sophomore over on that side to defend. Keegan Paul now. Shot got blocked by Matt Beers, didn't flinch, and Jake Boudreau's on a foot race. Sean Evans, the lone man back. Boudreau inside, outside, stopped by Bold. Rebound, he's pushed off of it by Charbonneau.
Love the offensive awareness there by Boudreau. He knew he had Evans back. He knew he had him on his back feet and backing up. Not known for his defensive prowess, so a good play there by the young Mr. Boudreau to go right at him.
Kyle Killen, he'll two-step up top. Barnable was on, Pitcott sand, pass back. Keegan Ball's got it out in front, and Keegan Ball has a yawning cage to fire one into. Vancouver down by 2.
Matt Beers is shaking his head there as he was the one that went to go grab that. It instead pops right back up to the Vancouver Warriors in the crease there, and Bouquet didn't have a chance as that one takes a Vancouver bounce for sure. Beers tries to intercept it. It's in and out of his stick, and Keegan Ball is just sitting there waiting. He will not score an easier goal in this one, and I just love watching the reaction by Matt Beers there.
Jimmy Quinlan's gonna throw the challenge flag, and we'll get another look at it. I mean, you could run through that play 100 times. 99 times that does not end up right in the stick of Keegan Ball.
It almost looked like he was passing it to him, right? Of course, you don't want to allow an open pass across there. So that's what Matt Beers is doing. He's standing in the right spot. He's doing what you should do in exactly that moment. And instead, he just gets the unluckiest bounce you've ever seen. Now waiting to see if that caused a whole bunch of confusion amongst the Vancouver players. We're getting a second look at it here. It looks like maybe on that near side. Oh, I think this might be a good challenge here by Jimmy Quinlan, as it's looking like Chase Scanlon, the Texan. Did he clear the crease in time? We're getting a second look at it as you are too. You're seeing the in-arena feed here on your broadcast, and you can see right here, Scanlon, that's the intended receiver. Beers pops it up, so Scanlon proceeds to run through the crease. Something he can do as long as he's out of the crease by the time that ball is behind Alex Bouquet. And that's what we're trying to get to the bottom of right now. My bold prediction, and I've been wrong on a lot of these, Cody. In fact, almost all of them in terms of bold predictions. There's actually a thing known as the Fraser curse on social media. But I do have to say, I think this one is going to stand as a good goal. As Scanlon, he gets out. It looks like he gets out just in time. Right there. He's floating through the air. He clears the crease. His foot makes contact with the Rush Nation at the back. And I think that's going to be the view that says it's a good goal.
After review, the Vancouver non-shooter fails to establish outside of the crease prior to the ball crossing the goal line. Therefore, the goal ruling is overturned. We head to immediate timeout.
Well, Rush Nation's gonna like that call here in Sastel Center.
I cursed him.
Scanlon failed to get set after cutting through the crease, so the ball goal will not count. It's 7-4, and it'll be Saskatchewan ball when we come back in quarter number 2. Rush up 7-4 here on TSN and ESPN+.
Remember to follow the NLL on all of our social media channels for highlights and behind-the-scenes content. And we're also now on TikTok. Follow us at NLL_official.
Thanks, Sabine. 7-4, the Saskatchewan Rush lead, much to the chagrin of the hometown fans here on Lax Day in Saskatchewan, Cody.
A lot of kids in jerseys in the stands. You gotta love seeing that, the game grow in the great province of Saskatchewan. Robert Church now on the run. Pick got called on Messenger. A little physical on the inside as the Hammer gets an offensive shift. And now Vancouver back the other way. Pass intended for Ball. Got picked off by Ryan Delks. Stealing it away like Twitter and your blue check mark. Jarrett Smith bouncer back up for Dilks, and the captain as a penalty's coming here. It might be on Killen and Garland, who got into it behind the scene. Bouquet is on the bench, so it'll be 6-on-5. Saskatchewan already scored on a delayed penalty, as Ryan Keenan had one earlier, looking for his second. Short side, bounces it wide. Robert Church grabs the pop fly, 4 to shoot. Matthews outside, tries to rip it over for Dan Littner, and that pass a couple feet over his head.
Not often do you see Matthews miss a wide open quick stick attempt, but that time he does. He seals it a little high on Dan Littner. And so do you get your blue check mark taken away quicker if you go to the sin bin too many times, Cody?
2 minutes.
Like, you and I have worked together a long time. That is one of your best lines. I will applauso that one.
I cannot confirm nor deny, but it's Tyrell Hamer-Jackson, the in-house, going. And so Saskatchewan back to the power play, 2 for 4 so far this evening. Just under 50% coming into this game so far. On the power play, Robert Church has one. Dan Littner has the other. It's a strong lefty look here. Church, fake step down, has it back again. Littner's going to play that righty crease side. Keep an eye on him, but Robert Church up top. Save made by Bold. Rebound popped right out, in Vancouver will send Brett Mitski up the floor. 2-on-1 opportunity. Alex Bouquet was almost down on his knees, but Goodwin pulls it out and he'll kill off some clock, but a penalty coming against Saskatchewan.
It's going to be against Matt Beers, getting a little too physical with his man right in front of the crease, and he is not happy at all.
So 4-on-4, barring any penalties, but right now it's 5-on-5 as Bold's on the bench. Killing wrong side of the row, a big save by Bouquet, and Boudreau will just flip this one to the men in stripes, and we'll play for a sign.
We talked about physicality coming into this one. The Rush have looked not their physical selves for the last few games, especially of this losing streak, and instead they might have crossed the line a couple of times. Matt Beers this time
number 2,
going
2
a
minutes,
little
check from
too hard with the hit from behind, right in front of Alex Bouquet. The play was kind of away from him. That's not one you want to get, and it's not one that Matt Beers is very happy with, as you can see him shaking his head in the penalty box.
Well, the Rush already had 4 power plays, so we knew Vancouver was going to get one very soon in approximately 50 seconds. They will get that. A lot of space on the floor right now. Ball got whipped over for Keegan. Ball's on the ground, and Ryan Barnable wants to run. Bowering got shot out of the cannon. Off the bench there. Refs will say it's legal. He's back. They negates any transition opportunity as Saskatchewan will throw 4 forwards on the floor. Robert Church put him on hat-trick watch. Towards the center, outside for Matthews. Wants to drive and flip. Dropped the ball for a second. One arm on his stick. Flips it back for Littner. It's on the turf.
Mitski has lost his stick. I don't know if Matthews recognized that.
Flipped up for Charbonneau. He's on a break. Charbonneau scores! Vancouver gets one back in the last minute of quarter number 2. It's 7-5.
You don't have a ton of time to practice your 4-on-4 play. Instead, Charbonneau, the Montreal product, with his first of the season, he gets a wide open look thanks to some good passing there. Bit of a breakdown, 3 Rush players all on the change. Nobody picking up Charbonneau, just kind of hanging out quietly on that far side, maybe taking advantage of the fact he had not scored this year. Instead, he shows up some good hands, goes low, and Steph Charbonneau cuts the lead to 2 for the hometown team.
Well, he made that breakaway look pretty dang easy for a guy who's yet to bury one this season. Charbonneau finds the back of the net. Vancouver has it, still 4-on-4 for the next 16 seconds. Hamer-Jackson out of the way. Ball dives across the crease, puts it behind Bouquet, but he was in the crease first. And now we wait for a red flag on the turf, potentially. Looks like Troy Cordingley and company. It is a timeout called by Saskatchewan, but Cordingley has the challenge flag in hand. He wants a replay up top, so he puts it on the turf. I didn't know if they have to show a replay on the Jumbotron or not, but nonetheless, the challenge is out there.
Well, that challenge, he had it in his hand. Cordingley has it in his hand, ready to go, and it's Sean Evans, the Peterborough native, really pushing for it. Evans had turned around to his head coach. He was telling him, go, 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 and he, of course, throws it, much to the behest and the pleasure of the Peterborough native, Sean Evans. So we're going to see if Cordingley and Evans are correct that ball was airborne. But from our initial look here, as you can see, this was a quick one. I think he was in the crease for sure.
After review, the no-goal ruling is confirmed. Vancouver is charged their first half timeout.
Well, your first half timeout doesn't really matter. I think that's worth accordingly, right?
Oh, 100%.
Even if ball says, hey, I was probably in the crease, I think it's worth throwing it. But now that kind of gives Saskatchewan more time to catch their breath, no? Because now Jimmy Quinlan and company can use their timeout and get an extra, break here to draw something up, as I see Cam Sedgwick hand the clipboard to the former Saskatchewan or Edmonton Rush captain.
Of course, Cody, and they do need that little bit of time. 4-on-4 lacrosse is not easy. You got a lot more floor to cover, and especially the way that Vancouver at 4-on-4 was just pushing the pace. They were pushing it down the floor, turned into a bit of a track meet. So needless to say, but I do think here we've got Goodwin going to the box because that's the second challenge they lost tonight. So you're going to have a delay of game because they didn't have a timeout to use. They lost the first challenge because of the reestablishment, and then accordingly throws that quick. There should be a penalty here, Cody.
And don't forget, coming up at the half for the Guaranteed Rate Halftime Report, highlights and analysis coast to coast with Dane Smith and out-of-town scores. And you are correct, because on that original one, Chase Scanlon didn't get both feet out of the crease and established.
Right, so there should be a penalty. There isn't. There's no extra Vancouver player in the box, but there absolutely should be a penalty for delay of game because they didn't have the timeout and lost the challenge.
So Rush will run it up the floor, and it is 4-on-4, but don't forget, Hayward Jackson gets out of the sin bin in approximately 5 seconds, so that's why you say Bouquet stay in the net. Instead of trying to go 5-on-5 and risk a turnover, you'll play 4-on-4 here and try eat most of the clock and run a short-handed play. Maybe Messenger even drives by himself here. I think that's what he wants. 5 seconds left. Charbonneau pinches him off. Bowering as well. Messenger dives to the crease, and Aaron Bold's got to make one of his finest saves of the opening half.
You called it. Messenger loves doing that.
And did Vancouver just try call a timeout too? I don't know what just happened there, but the
whistles were going. They don't have a timeout.
I don't know if that's just an automatic thought to get one. Generally it would be, but they moved the clock down to 1.4 seconds left here, so really no time to do anything. Oh, they're gonna put 4.8 now on the clock.
Yeah, that was the whistle for more time.
Bouncer, Messenger has it, and he'll whip one right back at Bowering. Catches him right in the shins. That's not a friendly way to end the opening half. And you're down by 2, but Saskatchewan, probably their best second quarter of the season.
Oh, by far.
John, I mean, they flip it around where Vancouver comes out and they're the better team for the first 10 minutes or so. This has been a different Saskatchewan team. Maybe it's something Jimmy Quinlan said, but you brought up intensity. I think they've elevated that game.
Oh, absolutely they have, and that came right from practice this morning. You and I were texting about it, but Sabine is down on the floor to recap that first half with a player. Sabine?
All right, Mark Matthews joining me. Mark, you guys have come out strong this first half. What's changed from the last few games?
I mean, nothing's really changed. We're just kind of canning our looks tonight, and we just keep getting in the middle and getting good looks, and good things are going to happen.
How do you keep that momentum going to get the win tonight?
I wish we could not go in the locker room, to be honest with you, but I think we'll be fine. We'll talk about a few things that could change for us on offense, and I'm sure the defense will have their little meeting, and we'll just kind of keep it rolling.
What's changed for you particularly? You got some goals on the board as well.
Oh, just playing a little different the last few weeks, trying to get some different looks and get back to playing my game here, and it seems to be working.
Thanks so much.
John Fraser, Sabine Ahmad with you on the broadcast this evening. Saskatchewan up 7-5 heading into the second half. The Guaranteed Rate Halftime Report is coming up next. Are back at the Guaranteed Rate Halftime Report. Don Caulfield and SaskTel Center. Cody James and John Fraser, Sabine Ahmad with you. Saskatchewan Rush up in this one. But let's check around the NLL. A couple of finals from yesterday. San Diego beat Calgary 14-8. Georgia over New York 12-7. And Colorado pulled 2 games up on Saskatchewan with an 11-9 win over Las Vegas. A lot of scoreboard watching if you're Saskatchewan,
yes,
but you still do have to get the job done, as around the NLL tonight. Toronto hammers Buffalo 18-7, a football score there. And Panther City over Albany 12-8. still to come tomorrow. Halifax and Georgia. Philly takes on Rochester. Philly obviously battling for the 4th spot in the West. And so that plays into a lot of what Saskatchewan and Colorado are watching for. But in this game tonight, Saskatchewan, it's a tale of two tapes. They didn't start off good again. But after that 10-minute mark in the first quarter, it's a different Rush team.
Oh, certainly, Cody. We've seen too many times Saskatchewan start slow and the wheels just kind of come off, and I was fearful that's what was happening. But Alex Bouquet, he turns it on. He keeps his team in it. A few amazing saves, the athletic saves that's been missing from his game, and then the Rush go to their big guns. You got Robert Church, a beautiful goal there. Mark Matthews, that's one for the personal highlight reel. I didn't think there was space there, Cody. And again, the big boys getting it done. This time, again, Ryan Keenan. The guys the Rush need to step up have stepped up so far tonight. But the late goal, Steph Charbonneau, his first of the year, saying, this thing ain't done. Keeps it a 2-goal deficit at halftime for Vancouver.
We take a look at the stats here. Shots on goal, 26-22 in favor of the Rush. Vancouver better at the dot so far. 8-6 in the faceoff. Saskatchewan 2 for 4 on the power play. Vancouver 0 for 2 on the power play. They will be on the man advantage when we come back. Loose ball battle in Saskatchewan's favor, 35-33. Saskatchewan up 7-5 in Saskatoon. We're back after the break.
Rush lead the Vancouver Warriors 7-5 in the first half here at Co-op Field at SaskTel Center in Saskatoon. And welcome back to your Guaranteed Rate halftime report. The Buffalo Bandits are one of 2 teams who have clinched a spot in the NLL playoffs coming into week 18. Reigning MVP Dane Smith joined the Coast to Coast team to discuss the resiliency of the Bandits in the last 5 weeks as they look towards the playoffs.
The resiliency of your group has been shown over the last 5 or 6 weeks with comeback wins. Another big one this weekend down in San Diego where you guys were in one of the best battles all game long. But it's Steve Priolo who is the hero. What is it like for you guys? Like you mentioned, you guys are getting defensive scoring. But what's it like to see your captain score a big goal like that in a big moment?
It's huge. And anytime, I think any offensive guy would say this, anytime a transition goal goes for you guys, it's relieving for the offense, and it's kind of like, okay, next man up. Now it's our turn to kind of to go. So it was huge, obviously a bigger moment, but having it to be our captain, our leader, I feel like he doesn't get as much credit as a lot of guys do, and I don't really know how the awards work, but again, I feel like if you're a defensive player, you still need to score goals or put up a little bit of numbers and stuff like that. He's not doing that like he used to. That being said, I feel like he's one of the best defenders in the league, game in and game out, and he does so much more. If you actually watch him, he's like demanding the defense and just like helping so many guys out. And I think that's due to our success. And
how many years until we see Dave Smith in the Vaunted 500 club?
I don't know. I've been struggling as late. I like to feed the ball a little bit before I score the ball, except for obviously 2016 was one of those crazy years that I didn't have LASIK then, and I think after 2017 is when I got LASIK and everything went downhill, so maybe I need to have worse eyesight. But that being said, I mean, any way I can put the ball in that's huge, and congrats to obviously Ryan Benesh. He's a guy I looked up to. I played with him obviously in Buffalo. He's a mentor to me, and hopefully I can catch him and give him a hard time when hopefully, I mean, he's still playing by then, but who knows.
Saskatchewan up 7-5 in SaskTel Center, 30 down, 30 to go.
And a big day for Lax Day in Saskatchewan is for the first time in club history, a member of the Saskatchewan SWAT. That's a junior program here in Saskatchewan. They have a player dressed for the Saskatchewan Rush, Lane Rushka, in the backup goalie jersey and spot tonight. His first regular season game. The Rush have had SWAT products suit up in the preseason, dress there, but he's the first one from the Saskatchewan SWAT to actually suit up in a regular season game. He's in, of course, because Eric Penny injured in warm-ups. But it doesn't look like the Rush are going to need the backup goalie tonight as Alex Bouquet, Cody. decent first half.
Shout out to Warman, Saskatchewan,
Yes!
the lacrosse factory, Anthony Hallberg, Lane Rushka. Hey, it's a good time to be a Saskatchewan lacrosse player. Refs ready, ball is down, second half underway on Co-op Field. Warriors on the power play. Maury has Keegan ball, now he's gonna wait. Garland steps right up on him. It was a physical first half. We'll see if that continues on the floor. Vancouver still man advantage, another 10 seconds. 15 on the shot clock. Sean Evans trying to sneak his way in tight. Has Killen up top, winds, fires, it's off the pipe. Rebound, pops out in front. Ball doesn't get the quick stick. Charlem Beatty's over to Killen and he scores. Makes no mistake this time, Kyle Killen cuts the lead in half.
As soon as Matt Beers had walked out of the box, Killen had scored. Doesn't go down as a power play goal, but one of those, as you saw Alex Bouquet make a couple real big saves there, couple bounces going Vancouver's way, and it's right about here where Beers comes out of the box instead. Low to low again. That's where they've had success on Bouquet tonight and previously, and Kyle Killen. That's gonna be his 23rd of the season, first on the evening, Cody.
Just an RIT missile goes low to low for Killen as we are back underway in quarter number 3. Vancouver, Troy Cordingley's side, they got the spark they wanted after being down by 2. Could have been a little bit closer, but some goals didn't go their favor, and the refs blow them off. But back the other way, Scanlon, he's hat-trick hunting right now. Ball is in the air. Jared Smith boots it around with the bright blue and pink kicks, and he'll run it up. The Winnipeg Jets going for a stroll. Smith over far side, and that low to high by Boudreau. Caught bowled up high. He's all right, though, and Vancouver heads north.
And just like the first half ended, a bit of a track meet, both teams trying to push the pace in transition here and take control of this massive game for both clubs.
Sean Evans now one-on-one. Dilks slides down to defend. Hard pick comes on Dilks, and now they're going to call that one. We heard from Mark Matthews before the half, who had 5 points. He said, we don't want halftime, let's keep playing. Well, Saskatchewan off to a slow start here. Vancouver was the one who found some energy in their locker room, but the Rush back on offense. Ryan Keenan scored in that opening half. Down for Reese Dutch as his first in green as well. Church, Matthews on the fly, tries to go behind the back, and it's off by a couple of feet.
And I'm not surprised you're not seeing a lack of energy of both teams on the march to May. Of course, as Vancouver loses tonight, they're eliminated. Saskatchewan loses, then they're 2 games out of the final playoff spot in the West. A tough spot to be in with so little season remaining.
Martel slings one over for Keegan Ball. The Edmonton Miner in the summertime. Edmonton product bouncer. Won't connect on goal, but he got it right back again. Keegan Paul, one arm on his stick, takes a hit from Messenger. I believe we had a stick break on that play as well, or maybe McClellan just lost his, but the Rush get possession.
Sticks, bodies, helmets, gloves, everything's flying tonight so far, Cody.
Madronic, the Harvard product, down for Clark Walter. Matthews, he's on hat-trick watch as well. Robert Church towards the middle, spins it back, down for Madronic, pass got deflected, and Madronic's got it again. Out for Matthews, hat-trick watch, bounces it stick side, won't go, and Madronic can't grab the loose ball as Brandon Goodwin, the birthday boy, has a present.
Brandon Goodwin, yes, his birthday tonight, the New West product, having himself a decent game. You think he gets cake afterwards, Cody?
Is the birthday tonight or is it all day? I think it's all day. We'll let him celebrate 24 hours. Sean Evans now. He'll drive around Barnabolt, trying to flip it inside. Ends up on the turf. Martel behind the net. Ryan Dilks has to follow, and he sends him down, maybe with the help of a turf monster. There is Dilks. Tosses him to the ground.
Oh, he doesn't like that.
They're going to say that he never had full possession. Dilks, the captain, not too happy, but Sean Evans, the legend, gets a freebie.
As Dilks took out his frustration on the arm of Evans there after he passed it off, gave him a good old whack right in the chicken wing.
Near side corner. Martel rolls. Pass got knocked down by Ryan Dilks, and here goes the captain. Ryan Dilks at the end of his shift. Maybe a little out of gas, but he's got some help. Barnable's in tight. Scanlon's caught on defense. Barnable scores! The bouncer from Barney in Saskatchewan. Back up by 2.
I love you, you love me. All his goals for Barnable to see as as Ryan Barnable puts one behind Aaron Bold. Another one of these great young players. All starts here. Turnover by Ryan Dilks, a man who was a little upset he got called for a hard pick, so he takes it upon himself to dish it, take it down the floor, and Barnable sees his opening. Didn't wait for the offensive experts. Dilks with a great pass, and Barnable converts, and Dilks is probably feeling pretty happy about his game so far tonight, Cody. I know he has been happy the way his season's gone, but tonight has looked like vintage Ryan Dilks.
Charlem Beatty's a walk into one, leads back up to 2. Peels it back, 15 on the shot clock. Blowing in there, causing a little bit of havoc. Killen's up top, ball's on the ground. Matt Beers, the former Vancouver Warrior captain. Outlet pass to Brampton's Boudreau. Boudreau down for Ryan Keenan. Reese Dutch, room to shoot, and he puts it right into the stick of Aaron Bold.
As Reese Dutch looking skyward on that one, he just missed. There was a bit of daylight betwixt Bold's legs, and Dutch just misses on the bouncer. He wanted that one, Cody.
Killen for Ball. Keegan Ball, just one assist so far this evening. Charlem Beatty's on his offside, trying to throw it stick side on Bouquet, who boots it out, and Saskatchewan thinking about going in transition. Messenger's there, takes the shot by himself, rebound pops out for Barnable. And hey, if you're gonna give him time and space, Messenger not gonna say no to that. 12 points in his last 6 games.
Certainly, Cody, but smart shot by Messenger to go down low and get the loose ball.
Clark Walter on the run, almost hauled down. Penalty coming on his backhand, and Bold, that might have gone off of his right foot. Well, no, they're not gonna see a shot clock reset. Bouquet's to the bench, 6-on-5. Penalty coming, Matthews looking to go 5-0 once again on Bold, who's got that wide stance. But again, if the stick positioning's good, tough to beat Aaron Bold there. He did make 41 saves against Colorado last week. Saskatchewan going to the power play when
Vancouver
we come up, and the
number 27,
Rush are up
2-minute minor holding.
8-6 on the Vancouver Warriors as Ryan Barnable has the latest.
Get ready for the ultimate showdown as the March to May begins. With intense matchups and playoff pushes, you won't want to miss a single moment of the excitement. Tune in and watch as teams begin their March to May now.
Saskatchewan going back to the power play, just under 50% as you get a nice look at the beer cup tower in the corner. Over under how long that takes to knock down. Well, Saskatchewan probably not afraid to throw body checks in this game. They are playing to catch Colorado in the standings. 2 games back after the Mammoth win last night on the power play. Walters pass intended for Dutch, ends up on the turf. Matthews, little back pedal, he's on hat-trick watch. Church is up top. Punch save by Bold. Rebound pops out for Reese Dutch. Senior Victoria Shamrock, a good mentor for a junior Victoria Shamrock. Former one, that is, in Austin Medtronic. Matthews pedals down. Church outside look, trying to go 5-0 once again on Bold.
That's the spot they've been trying to pick, especially in the second half here, Cody.
Outlet pass, Goodwin's on a break, and he's stopped by Bouquet. Alex Bouquet, another big breakaway save.
Great save by Bouquet on the breakaway, and then calms things down. It looked a little disjointed there. Let the Rush set up here on the power play, as they have had a bit of a different look here tonight, Cody, and it seems to be working so far.
Righty strong as Church is up top. Dutch goes to the middle. Matthews down for Dan Lintner. Lintner walks inside, twister on goal. Bold gets it with the right shoulder.
And from the different look, they've been using Matthews almost more of a decoy up top. They know the power play is going to run through Matthews. He's moving around a lot more.
Dutch for Walter down there. I thought he was going to let it rip.
That's why I immediately stopped talking. I thought we were going to be talking about a goal, Cody.
Fake had me biting in the booth. Mark Matthews inside. Church down for Walter, dives across, won't go on Bold. He's got to reset his net. 12 to shoot. Church now back pedal. Looking to go glove side, save made by Bold, and Walter got a healthy whack down low on his defender. Bold's not happy about it either.
No, he took a couple. Bold's actually got his helmet off right now. He's having a bit of an equipment issue. You don't want to be losing your bucket during the middle of play here. He's good now.
Vancouver tries a hidden ball trick. Scanlon still with it. First couple of goals for Vancouver this evening. Charlem Beatty's now on the SaskTel logo, throws this one in, and Bouquet calmly throws up the stick, and an outlet to Jarrett Smith. who bats it to the ground.
Trying to figure out if those are Winnipeg Jet shoes with the blue and the red. I haven't seen them up close. I know Jarrett and I both talked about our mutual love of the Jets. I got to get a better look at those later, Cody.
Sean Evans rolls up top. Lowen has a pass option, and it got knocked down by Matt Beers. Matt Beers, now the former Vancouver Warrior captain, wants to run. He's got Jared Smith with him. Beers over to Smith, short side, bowled up to the cask.
I think Beers wanted a little redemption after a couple penalties tonight. And on top of that, that one fluke giveaway he had at his own net.
Clark Walter up for Mark Matthews. Walter over to Matthews, and he scores. Mark Matthews has got the hat trick, and Saskatchewan up by 3.
Not something we've been able to say a whole lot this year, as Matthews has been happy being the mailman, the distributor. But tonight, with the season virtually on the line for the Saskatchewan Rush, Mark Matthews has stepped up in a big way here. Again, I like the game Clark Walter's having, taking all sorts of abuse. He's the one that sets the pick there to get Matthews free. That's all Clark Walter. Picks up the ball, gets it to Matthews, then sticks his big rear end out as Matthews was being pursued. Gives the old school hip check. And hey, speaking of penalties, physical play, Matt Beers going to the sin bin tonight. He's just the 4th man in league history with 600 PIMs in his career. Nice guy off the floor, mean you know what on the floor.
One of the best out the back gate. Clark Walter again, couple of assists for him on the run. Rips that one down low. Aaron Bold, a good save, and he doesn't give up a rebound either.
Dare I say the best name in NLL history as well? Matt Beers, can't go wrong.
Some would say it's up there as the best. Keegan Paul, quiet this evening, no goals, just one apple. Pass ended up down low, and Bouquet bobbles it. He's got to pull it back into his crease as Martel tried to feather one, and another outlet pass for Jared Smith, but a couple of quick D-Met guys get out on the floor as Goodwin and Midsky shut down any transition opportunities. Matthews as Keenan cutting through the middle, back over to Robert Church. He's on hat-trick watch as well. Madronic's in tight, and he rips it, but I think it hit Keenan, who was actually down in the crease.
Yeah, Keenan had been stapled down in the crease, and it went off him, hence the crease violation in Vancouver.
Sean Evans, one assist for him as well. We talk about the big righties on Vancouver. They've got all the offensive ability, but quiet through 40 minutes of play. Evans now, he'll draw a penalty. Shot gets behind Bouquet and in. There you go. The big guns show up for Vancouver, and it's 9-7.
Just absolute chaos on that one as Evans fights off what was going to be a sure holding call and instead finds a way to get it behind Alex Bouquet. He had Mike Messenger wearing him like a suit as Messenger grabs on with the free hand around the head, and Evans still finds a way to put it off the post and in. But we have, Cody, a challenge presented by Jimmy Quinlan.
So his hands do go into the crease, I do believe, and the ball goes post off the back of Bouquet and then rolls over. Again, I'm sure we'll get a replay on Booth here, but that's just my memory on what I saw here. And Vancouver already had a couple called back.
2 already there. Vancouver 0 for 2 on the challenges so far tonight. Meanwhile, Saskatchewan, this is their first go for Jimmy Quinlan. I have been wrong every time so far, Cody Jansen, so we are going to get a second look here. Now this, of course, if the goal is waved off, Messenger will go to the box for holding. So even if you take the goal off the board, you're still going to see your guy go to the bin of sin. And again, another quick one by our officials tonight. They are decisive. I like that. We don't have to fill much time. They know what they see.
After video review, the Vancouver player attacking the net is fouled. However, that player must maintain legality throughout. The player fails to do so. Therefore, the goal call on the field is overturned. Saskatchewan will serve a 2-minute holding penalty.
Well, there you go.
I didn't even have time to guess.
Just a great explanation as well. If we could get that every time, that's $1 million worth of information. But Vancouver going to the power play, 46% on the season. Saskatchewan to the sin bin, 54% on the campaign. 2 for 2 tonight, though, are the Rush. Keegan ball up top on this power play as they'll give you a righty strong look. Killen, they'll switch right off the bat, and now he'll play that top righty shooter. Charlon Beatties is your lefty shooter. Ball over to Killen. Out of the corner, Killen's got it again, wants to score. He shot earlier. This time Bouquet reads him in a long outlet intended for Holden Garland. And Garland's got a partial breakaway, and it's knocked free by Killen. What an effort by Kyle Killen to get back.
Garland fought off Killen the whole way, all the way up the floor to even try to get a shot away. Took a couple high hits, which is why Killen was able to catch up to him as he held him kind of between the restraining lines.
Rubish battling with Lowen and about 4 other partners down there, and somehow Kyle Rubish, it's a quarter out of a sandhill, and he finds himself with one in his stick. Rush up by 3, still have 66 seconds to kill on the minor penalty to Mike Messenger. Clark Walter, couple of apples in this one, went off for the big 5-goal game against San Diego earlier in SaskTel Center. Walter, 3 defenders on him, and the Poco product not going down without a fight, and now he takes a slash off the head. Refs are gonna let him play on though, and he's not one to shy away from the physical side either, as Vancouver gets it back. 37 seconds left on their power play, 20 seconds on the shot clock. Charlon Beatties dances his way down. Sean Evans is there as well. Room to shoot. Over to Ball. Charlon Beatties steps inside, trying to go blocker side on Bouquet, who punches it out with that right hand. Shot clock reset. Lowen's on the crease. Ball is up top. Down for Lowen. Evans in the middle, and it got blocked right there. A kick save by Bobby Kidd III, I believe.
That's absolutely right, Cody, showing off his flexibility there. It's like he's playing street hockey or something with no pads, making the big stop.
Wise move of Connor McClelland right there. He had Keenan cutting in who wanted it, but he could see Condren was hot on his tail, and so he pushes him back. Here's Matthews looking for 4. One arm flip intended for Keenan. He'll give it right back to his defender. Reese Dutch 4 to shoot. Madranik trying to go back through the legs. And the Rush are going to have to leave one on the turf here with 2:54 left to go in quarter number 3. Saskatchewan up 9-6 in SaskTel Center. Big penalty kill and a couple of big saves by Alex Bouquet.
Welcome back. How fitting he does it against the team he used to captain, but Matt Beers, with a penalty tonight, becomes just the 4th player in league history with 600 career penalty minutes. What could a person do with 600 minutes of time off the floor? But Matt Beers, great guy off the floor, tough, physical, everything you want for a defenseman on the floor.
Playing in his 189th regular season game, I will add, as Bouquet with the save, Kyle Rubish with the loose ball. Reese Dutch is there as well. Rubish twister, stopped by Bold. Again, trying to go 5-hole on their former netminder in Saskatchewan.
And Rubish wants a goal tonight. That's 2 or 3 times he's pushed the pace in transition, stopped every time, but he loves scoring.
McClelland and Dilks with a good switch. Sean Evans still got the shot off, though, just on target. And Ryan Dilks, a little hey, how are you, scoops it up. Barnable back the other way, looking for 2 over to Jared Smith, who got in tight and tries to throw another twister. And Aaron Bold seals off that near pipe.
Another big save by Bold. He's been keeping his team in it. They're getting outshot 41-29, and Bold's had to make several tough saves, just like that one on Jared Smith, the Winnipeg Jet.
Keegan Ball scored 2 against the Mammoth last week in their big win over Colorado. Trying to go 5-hole this time, and Alex Bouquet up to the task one more time with his 24th save of the game.
8 points against the Mammoth last week, just 1 assist so far for Ball tonight.
Mike Messenger will not be pushed off the ball on this occasion. Clark Walter on an island with Kalinich. Matthews, he'll drive. Walter sets the pick. Ball comes back up for Dutch. Spin move over to Robert Church. Short side, scores. Throw those hats. Robert Church has his 3rd of the game.
Robert Church has 3. Matthews has 3. But that play out starts with the Dwight Schrute spin move by Reese Dutch. Bobbles it for a second, turns on the spin move, and sets up Robert Church here. Matthews doing what Matthews does right there. You can see Dutch loses it just for a second, spins off his defender, and Robert Church with time and space as the defense had collapsed all towards Dutch after the sweet spinorama. Finds some space and finds the back of the net and restores a 4-goal lead for Saskatchewan. Cody, when was the last time these guys had a 4-goal lead at home? It's been a while.
That it has. Bobby K III kicks one over to Barnaple. Contrin got back on him, but it was the RIT grad who thought he was going to get himself free real estate on the floor. Now he waits for the O guys, and Mark Matthews runs it over the logo. Last minute of play here, quarter number 3. Matthews, double clutch on the pass. Now he's got Keenan. Not much room to shoot. Pass over to Madronic. Austin Madronic on the run, trying to go short side. I think that hit the knob of Bold's stick. They reset the shot clock, and now the refs want to discuss this one. I thought that went off a Bold's stick. They're going to say no. They're a little closer than me.
Just a little bit, and I wear glasses too, so I'm not exactly the best judge of that. We'll defer to our officiating crew as Bold makes his way to the bench here with about a 4-second difference betwixt the shot clock and the game clock, Cody.
Keegan, ball up top. Vancouver gonna run through Kill, and his ball gets put on an island as Holden Garland's back. Charlotte Beatties now winds and fires. What a play by Garland to get his stick back in the way. Evans has it, 10 to shoot. Pass over again, Charlotte Beatties, and that ends up in row number 4 with 11 seconds left. And they're gonna let Bold get back as Messenger wanted him to blow this one in quick. Maybe Saskatchewan's fine with throwing 5 O guys on the floor. A little bit of confusion. Takes away an empty net opportunity. Jimmy Quinlan has his hands in the air. Not thrilled, but the Rush will get Bouquet on the bench as well, so they'll go 6-on-5. Matthews, 5 to run with. Messenger down the middle, sets a pick for Matthews. Winds, fired, shot got blocked by Midski. It ends up on the turf. And I don't think Matthews meant to do. I think that went off a stick and then possibly melon of Brett Midski and the former teammates.
Got him right in the ear.
We'll come together and have a word after that one. 45 down, 15 to go. The Saskatchewan Rush are up 10-6 in SaskTel Center. Down the stretch we go. Robert Church having himself an evening here in SaskTel Center. He's got the hat trick following suit on Mark Matthews. We talked earlier in this one. Saskatchewan coming off of a losing streak. You've got a chance to put Vancouver out of the playoff race. And so far, Saskatchewan's had their foot on the gas pedal despite a very slow start.
Yeah, again, another slow start by the Rush. We thought that maybe they wouldn't turn around, but boy, have they ever. Adding in some new wrinkles on offense. Bouquet pushing it with long passes a lot more transition attack here for the Rush tonight. And of course, unlike when Vancouver started this losing streak back in February, Cody, Aaron Bold's been good, but he hasn't been great tonight like he was the first time these two teams played at SaskTel Center.
Tyrell Hammer-Jackson's been pretty darn good for Vancouver on the draw. I was going to say great, then he lost it as Messenger goes back the other way, and he's stopped by Bolt.
The old broadcaster jinx.
Beers takes the push into the boards, and now he lets the offense go to work. Matthews slows it down. 7-point game he's working on. Clark Walter runs it around the horn for him. Matthews on the roll, Midski to defense. Ryan Keenan now. Ball got deflected. Robert Church has it on the run. Trying to go across the body. Bold with the big stop. Vancouver back the other way, down by 4. Scanlon pushed back by Barnacle. Over to Martel. It'll roll on the ground. Dilks will defend. Back for Scanlon. He's on hat trick. Watch, one arm on his stick. Stopped by Bouquet.
As Kyle Rubish jumped over from where he was to get all over Scanlon and take away a great opportunity for him there.
Reese Dutch down for Matthews. Saskatchewan going right, Vancouver going left. Thanks for joining us on TSN Plus, ESPN Plus, and the Rush Radio Network this evening. Reese Dutch now has one in the game. Pass inside for Littner. He got it, and he just bounces it wide.
Just barely missed on that one. Littner's got one from almost that identical spot so far tonight. That's a bit of his wheelhouse. He always likes getting to the dirty areas, and guy's been snake bitten all season, so it was good to see you get one earlier tonight.
Charlem Beatties inside on Bobby Kidd III, and another big save by Alex Bouquet, who now has 26 in the game.
Started a little slow for Bouquet, but he's looked like he has to open this year versus the last few games that he's been on a bit of a slide. Big athletic saves out of Bouquet on top of the positional ones.
Austin Medtronic on the roll. The Harvard product got stopped. Church has it back over to Walter, and he scores! Sparky snipes, and Saskatchewan's up by 5.
Great job by Clark Walter. He's been having a great game, just hasn't found the score sheet tonight. Well, he corrects it there. I was just going to say to you, Cody, I like the game that Austin Medtronic has had tonight. He's kind of come back to the way we've seen him play earlier. That's how it starts, but the big hard shot. Robert Church grabs the loose ball on the awareness by the veteran Church to find Walter waiting there. He's got an open net and a quick stick, quick release. Clark Walter and his great mustache quickly becoming a fan favorite in Saskatchewan. Physical play, and he's got the goal-scoring touch.
8 goals in his last 5 games.
That's good, right?
Pretty good there. One of Limestone's finest to come into that college program down south. Evans, he'll throw it for Keegan Ball. Warriors down by 5. Sean Evans now thought about shooting around Smith. Now he's going to work his way to the middle. Pushed back by Barnable. Pass got picked off by Garland, and ball outworks him. Scanlon boots it forward, and they get the shot clock reset. Vancouver does. Evans has it again. Trying to cut towards the middle. 20 on the shot clock. Waiting up top is Riley Lowen. Martell's in there to open up some space. Ball's on the ground. Keegan Ball runs up on it. Pushed back by Barnable, the rookie, defending the NLL superstar. Late in this one, Martell, spin move around Garland. Boudreau has to slide over. Smith has it off the turf, and now Jared Smith with less than 12 to go, and they're gonna call it as Evans found himself falling to the turf as Vancouver lets their offense take another look, but they've been out there for a while, and Bowring might stay in play here. On the run, Killen scores. Kyle Killen cuts the lead back down to 4.
All of that starts with Sean Evans doing Sean Evans things. The Peterborough product getting under the skin of the other team when it looked like Jarrett Smith had a clear look at the other end of the floor. Instead, Evans goes down, creates the turnover, and next thing you know, Vancouver with a real tired rush D out there. Kyle Killen getting a great look, goes betwixt the pantaloons of Alex Bouquet, and they're still in this one. 2 for Killen, put him on hat trick watch, as you would say. 24 on the season. Vancouver cutting the rush lead to 4.
Vancouver now with 4 players who have 3 points in this game. 11:30 left to go in quarter number 4. It's Cody Jansen, John Fraser, Sabina Maud with you this evening in SaskTel Center. Killen up top for Charlem Beatties, the big youngster, trying to drive on Kidd III. Bouquet steps over to his right and makes another big stop for the rush.
3 guys with 3 points, and how about Reed Bowering? 12 loose balls tonight to go over 200 for the year from a non-face-off man. That's absolutely staggering, Cody.
Mark Matthews, swim move for Dutch, low on goal, and Bold makes a save. Rebound falls to his feet. Outlet pass, it's a Hail Mary for Brandon Goodwin. Out of the corner, Goodwin still has it, room to fire. Passes over to Evans, caught him sleeping. Now he's got to run back to the bench to grab it. 15 on the shot clock. Evans down for Ball. Keegan Ball by himself. Low, booted out by Bouquet. They get the reset. Evans in tight. Martell pushed to the ground. Loose ball scooped by Ryan Barnable, who slows it over the logo.
That was Reese Dutch with the defensive play. He was stuck out there for a long shift. Comes up with a big physical play in tight to keep that out of the back of the rush net.
Matthews a dozen to shoot. Ryan Keenan, pass intended for Littner. Defender got a piece of it. Jarrett Smith has to get off the bench quick as Vancouver's coming with the numbers. Scanlon to the center, bounce shot goes wide, and Bouquet not tasked to make a save as Garland fires it over to Robert Church, who's playing a two-way game. Robert Church probably wants to slow this one down instead of going 1-on-5. Might be the wise play when you're up by 4. Now Robert Church looking for his 4th of the game. Hands it off to Ryan Keenan. Keenan flip inside for Walter. Got it back and he scores! Clark Walter, they'll say he stepped in the crease though. We are going to get a media timeout here as well. I'm waiting to see if Clark Walter wants Jimmy Quinlan to chuck the flag or not. But the Rush up by 4. We're off to a break on Co-op Field in SaskTel Center. Well, Mark Matthews, the mailman's delivered with 7 points, and Rush Nation, nothing but smiles on their faces in Lacrosse Day in Saskatchewan here in SaskTel Center. Rush up by 4. Vancouver looking to chop away at that lead right now. Shots 47-35 in favor of the Rush. Keegan Ball, spin move on Messenger, sends one over to Charlotte Beatty's little flip back. Intended for Riley Lowe and Kyle Killen. He's at the hot stick here, trying to go low on Bouquet. Save made behind the back. Double it up for Alex Bouquet. Back-to-back big stops.
Killen, one of the few productive members of the Vancouver Warriors tonight. This rush off defense, pardon me, has absolutely shut down the big boys. Evans with just a point, Ball with just a point so far in this one.
Ryan Keenan listed as questionable coming into this contest. Sends it over to Church. He had a head of steam there. Almost bowls over Barker. Has to get it back. 1 on the shot clock. Robert Church down for Madronic. And just as that shot clock was expiring, you give him 2 more seconds. The Harvard product might make you pay. Instead, Vancouver back the other way. Scanlon whips one far side. Bounces over to Bobby Kidd III, who will boot it a couple of times.
He got too excited.
Back for Smith. Shot got deflected. Kidd III had it again, and now he's pushed to the turf.
Smith's had a few chances here tonight, Cody. Just hasn't been able to cash in on any of them.
Solomon in tight, intended for Gagliari. And the ball comes right back up to the youngster. 3rd round pick back in 2022. Ball for Evans. 10 to find the target. Down low, Bouquet stopped.
Looked like an old school 2-pat stack on that one, Cody. As Bouquet, like I said, making the athletic saves tonight, something that wasn't really in his repertoire the past few games.
Jake Boutreau as Barker watching him, and I think he left that behind the back for Littner. Littner cutting inside. Shot will make its way on target. Touch for Matthews. Back to Littner. Quick stick. Huge stop by Aaron Bolt.
Speaking of old school 2-pat stacks and athletic saves, Aaron Bolt says anything you can do, I can do as well, as he slides over to keep this to a 4-goal spread.
Looking like 2016, number 77 on that save, but Vancouver still down by 4. Charlotte Beatty's whips one to kill it. The big shooter, we'll see if they find him open. This one intended for Martel, picked off by Barnable, and he wants to run. Ryan Barnable, injured to start the season, been effective since he's been back in the lineup.
Well, certainly this young Rush defense core, the veterans are playing a little bit more tonight, and that's been able to insulate them a bit. But man, do they have a future with guys like Boudreau and Smith and Barnable back there.
In tight, Clark Walter wanted another. He tries to pull it across the body. Church almost picked up a loose ball there. 2 on the shot clock. And now I think they're going to say that Walter might have gone through. Physical play will pick up. Opposite side of the beer tower, so that stays alive if anyone's keeping count at home.
I know we sure are. I've been worried every time it's been over there. I don't want to see that. That is glorious. It's like the beer snake you see often at Investors Group Field in Winnipeg.
Vancouver 0-8 when trailing heading into the 4th quarter. This season, Saskatchewan 4-1 when up heading into the final frame. Sean Evans above the restraining line. Mike Messenger will defend. Evans, Boudreau pushes him out. It doesn't to let something go. Scanlon in tight, save made by Bouquet. Rebound, grabbed by Martel. Keegan ball now. Evans up top, and a big kick save. Bouquet with the boot.
Back row Bouquet doing the splits. He's looked great tonight.
Evans in tight. Lowen's there and he scores. Vancouver puts the pressure on and the leak gets through. They're down by 3.
You know that Vancouver needed a goal there or a goal very soon. Cutting it back within 3 with just under 6 minutes to go here, Cody, as the trend of former Rush players coming back to bite them in the rear end continues. Riley Lowen just getting a bit of a step there. Bit of a pick on Bobby Kidd III, a clean one, of course, but that's what gets Lowen open. And in this huge game, when it comes to the March for May, Lowen scores number 14 on the year. Remember, Vancouver loses tonight, they're eliminated. Saskatchewan loses tonight, they're 2 games back to that last spot in the West.
Huge face-off, Lucy by Holden Garland.
He's had a game tonight.
Impressive in his, we'll call it a 3rd season. I know the first one got cut short, so not a sophomore. But yeah, he has had a heck of a game so far. Ryan Keenan up top. Sends one over to Reese Dutch, picked up at the trade deadline from Colorado. Dutch, Lindner's inside. Condren was all over him in bold, sends the outlet. Vancouver going with speed. Ball tries to cut through. Defenders on him. Killen steps out. Shotgun deflected by Jared Smith, and Bouquet settles it down.
Almost the second own goal, if you will, as that one goes in and out of the stick of Smith. Dangerous possession, of course. The one that bounced right out of Beers' stick that stood up as a goal, or didn't stand up as a goal earlier here tonight.
Robert Church trying to go short side. Took a little off that one, and he tried to feather it in this time. Bolt stepping to his right, calmly makes the save. Warriors, they'll push the pace a little bit here again. Scanlon waits for ball to hop out on the floor. Martel there as well. Vancouver's got to be careful. They had 6-0 guys running around. Refs let them play on. Ball. Pick set by Evans. Gets it back up top. Low bouncer. Big save by Bouquet as he drops the left hand.
And to keep that and control the rebound, keep it in the crease, but there's an unforced error there by the Rush. That's a big mistake there.
Pass back in tight. Martell's off the crossbar somehow. That doesn't cross the line. Cordingley right away grabs the red flag. I have no clue how or if that one stayed out. Alex Bouquet. Well, the replay right there. I think he gets that while falling back. Send it to SportsCenter. Down the stretch we go in Saskatchewan. Rush lead 11-8.
Welcome back inside the SaskTel Center. The Vancouver Warriors throwing the challenge flag while we paid the bills here. Waiting to see if this will stand up as a save or if it'll be overturned.
After review, the ball never crosses the goal line. Therefore, the no-goal ruling is upheld. Vancouver is charged their second half timeout.
So the Bananas save by Bathrobe Bouquet holds up as a save. And Vancouver now 0 for 3 on their challenges tonight, but what an absolute crazy stop by Alex Bouquet. He's falling backwards, swats it with the stick, and it stays out of the goal.
There you get a look at Troy Cordingley as well. No bounces going Vancouver's way, and with 4:06 left to go, Bathrobe Bouquet has been the star of the show here on Co-op Field tonight.
Casual 41 save night. That's good, right? Half decent.
Reese Dutch, acquired from Colorado, talked to him a week ago, said, I got a lot more lacrosse left in me. And a good Victoria boy, as some would say, has made a difference here in Saskatchewan. Matthews. Pass got deflected. Dutch has it there. Shot got blocked by Charbonneau. Charbonneau, of course, a part of that Mitch Jones trade, and now Bold's going to head to the bench in Vancouver, running at 6-on-5 right now, down by 3 with 3:33 left to go in quarter number 4. Goodwin thought about staying and playing for a second. Now he'll hustle off a dozen on the shot clock. Keegan Ball to the middle, flip for Killen. Hot stick scores. Kyle Killen makes it a 2-goal game.
Kyle Killen, one of the Vancouver Warriors that has shown up in a big way tonight. The Rush have done an excellent job of taking away Evans, taking away Ball, but you can't take everything away, and Killen has been the man to step up on the 6-on-5. Vancouver knowing that they need goals and they need them in a hurry. Killen taking advantage of the extra space as there was a bit of an overcommit on Keegan Ball, which, I mean, that makes sense. Guy's got 77 points this year. So Killen with the hat trick to keep this one interesting, cut it to a 2-goal lead with just 3 minutes left here, Cody. And we got ourselves a bit of a game going on here, my friends.
We knew Vancouver wasn't going down without a fight, because with a loss, they would be eliminated from playoff contention. With a win, Saskatchewan 1 game back of Colorado. 3:03 left to go here in quarter number 4. Killen back up top. He's got his hat trick. Looking for 4. Short side. Won't go. Behind the net. Dunk attempt. Scores. Down to a 1-goal game in SaskTel Center. Behind the cage, it's Ryan Martel with the dunk goal.
The Alder Grove, BC product as Vancouver goes back-to-back 6-on-5 goals within mere seconds of each other. Again, the hot stick just takes a Vancouver bounce, and Martel with the Superman-esque leap going vertical, putting that behind Bouquet, clearly in before his front side touches the ground. If he was in the shape like I am, I mean, that would have been a crease violation for a guy like me. But a guy like Ryan Martel, 5'10", 194, he's not gonna miss there. No crease violation, no challenge. And things have escalated quickly from a 4-goal Rush lead down to just 1 here in the 4th quarter, Cody.
Messenger face-off win, and he'll slow it down. Clark Walter out on the floor with Austin Madronic. Just a couple of rookies playing in the biggest moment of Saskatchewan's season. Brian Keenan back for Madronic, room to shoot. Got blocked by Goodwin. Here goes Vancouver. Mitski the other way, has Goodwin with it. The birthday boy decides he'll give it off to the offensive experts, who have had the hot stick here for Vancouver. 4 straight goals for the Warriors. Keegan Ball, defended by Austin Madronic, caught back on defense. Up top, Evans, plenty of space. Pass got knocked down, and Bouquet somehow finds it. Needle in a haystack.
Yeah, I couldn't even find where that ball was, but thankfully I'm up here. Bouquet's down there. Under 2 minutes left to go now here. As Dan Lindner trying the quick stick, instead goes flying in Aaron Bold, and Vancouver's got the ball back, Cody.
Catches some rug burn, and Vancouver's going to keep Bold between the pipes. They'll play 5-on-5 here, it looks like, down by 1.
He's coming now,
They wave him with 96 seconds left. I thought that was an interesting choice when it looked like he was staying in the crease. Now Keegan Ball with it, 10 on the shot clock. Flip for Killen, Ball's way up top. Killen inside, scores, tie ball game. Riley Lowen has us back to level ground with about 19 left to play.
What looked like a good night in Saskatchewan heading into our final commercial timeout, Cody, has completely turned around. Since we took the break, it's been all Vancouver, a 5-goal run to tie this game up. Goals all within 3 goals, all within 3 minutes of each other. And we are back to even. Riley Lowen, former Rush product, just a great play. Again, Vancouver on all those 3 goals, Cody, with the empty net, they just played that perfectly. They knew they had the extra man out. That created some extra time and space. And Jimmy Quinlan looking skywards, wondering what has just happened. Of course, we are in a goal review, as that's what happens in the last 3 minutes of a lacrosse game, just making sure that everything's good. But at least from our perspective, that Lowen goal, definitely a good one. And we are back to even Stevens with 90 seconds left on what was looking like a dominant Rush victory.
The goal call stands.
As we knew it would. So now this has gone from a mere formality to a massive face-off here for Messenger and Hammer Jackson. And Hammer Jackson, just like the last game, has had the edge. Not quite to the degree that he had last time, but he's won 15 out of 25 against Messenger and BK3.
Hammer Jackson rolls it back, and Messenger scrambles his 10th face-off win of the game. Captain Clutch Ryan Dilch with the loose ball. Robert Church puts himself in the spin cycle, pass over, and Mark Matthews has to work his way back. Now Dilch will go off for a change. Dutch and Walter hop out on the floor. Church alone with Midsky, spins down low. Robert Church flips it back. Church to Dutch, and he's stopped by Bold. Sends the outlet, less than 50 seconds to play. Keegan ball now. As Dilch defending, ball up top for Killen. Vancouver on a 5-goal run over the past 11 minutes. Ball wants to try. Killen's there. Feed to the corner, Martel, shot got blocked by Messenger, and Bouquet has it, and Saskatchewan's gonna get a timeout with over 20 seconds to go here.
Saskatchewan now gonna draw something out. I bet you we're gonna see Bouquet come to the bench, and just like Vancouver's done on their last 3 goals, Saskatchewan gonna have a man advantage. There's 23 seconds left on the game clock. Of course, 30 on the shot clock, and looking down from our vantage point here, SaskTel Center, everybody still here is up on their feet. They know that this could be absolutely massive. And for the Rush, of course, we've talked about it lots tonight, how big of a game this is for them. You can't fall 2 games behind Colorado and Philly for that last playoff spot in the West. That's a recipe for disaster. For Vancouver, though, they've scratched and clawed. And yes, we're talking about odds and stuff before the game. They're 10,000 to 1 to win the NLL Champions Cup. But you're telling me there's a chance. And that chance remains alive with a victory here tonight. And heartbreak for Rush fans on Lax Day in Saskatchewan. Who they going to here, Cody? I'm going to put you on the spot.
Well, we saw Cam Sedgwick with the clipboard and Alex Bouquet on the bench. So it'll be 6-on-5. Rush know what's at stake here. Robert Church likely the ball carrier because Vancouver's just going to send 5 D guys back and they won't put any pressure on. If there was pressure, they would have gone with Mike Messenger as Rush Nation on their feet and into it in SaskTel Center. 3 lefties, 3 righties. Locked and loaded, ball game on the line. Robert Church over the logo. Dutch and Littner are on his left. Matthews, Keenan, and Walter are on his right. Matthews peeled off. It's a 5-on-4. Church, Keenan, back over for Dutch. Ball's on the ground, still rolling around. Goodwin has it. A second to shoot, and he'll throw this one wide. Off to overtime on Co-op Field. 11-11 is the score.
Oh boy, Cody. What looked like a sure Rush victory quickly brought to a tie by a 5-goal Vancouver run. 3 of them with the empty net, with the man advantage. And it's gone from stunned silence in here to lots of energy. Alex Bouquet's had a game. Vancouver's figured out their offense, especially late in this 4th quarter. At one point, the Rush were out shooting them by 20. Now it's only a 5-shot advantage. And you know both teams, you can feel the tension, you can feel the energy. They know what's on the line. Taking a quick look here at this Vancouver comeback, 5 in a row. Then it's all been Kyle Killen, Riley Lowen, the 2 unlikely heroes. You think Vancouver, you think Ball, you think Evans. Not Killen and Lowen, but they're the guys doing the killing of the Rush's hopes in this one. 5-goal run, like I said, Cody, 3 with the empty net. And they've just got the Rush on their heels. The Rush need to taste their own blood a little bit. They've made them bleed their own blood, to quote the famous line from Dodgeball. And they've got to settle it down because this is all Vancouver energy. They're hopping around. You're looking at Aaron Bolden, that he's jumping up and down, even though SaskTel Center is now brought to a quiet hum as they decide to play a movie in here.
Sudden death overtime. What do you think Troy Cordingley and Jimmy Quinlan are saying to each other?
Well,
or not to each other, to their teams.
Well, Cordingley's obviously saying keep it going. They've been able to figure this out. Their offense has come to life here in this second half. Meanwhile, the Saskatchewan Rush, they're definitely saying forget about it. Forget about the last 5. Think about the other 55. They've been the better team on the floor for 55 minutes tonight. Just the last 5 or so, they've gotten absolutely buried. So needless to say, it is clutch time. Somebody's going to come up big. And there should be some energy in this building here as this becomes a big one. Big moment. Mike Messenger again.
Saskatchewan 0 for 2 in overtime games so far this season. Messenger on the draw against Hamer Jackson, and it's one back to Holden Garland. Garland, the flip over to Messenger. Doesn't seem like Jimmy Quinlan wants to use that timeout just yet. Messenger bobbled it for a second. Beer sets the pick, so Clark Walter can await some offensive help here. Overtime underway on Co-op Field. Matthews inside, had room upstairs, and he whips it wide.
Just missed. Aaron Bold had overcommitted, and he gave him space above the shoulder, and that's where Mark Matthews wanted to go, and just misses on a grade A chance in Vancouver. Unsurprisingly, calling their timeout here. Take the energy out of the building. There was a big lull here during the brief intermission between the fourth quarter and overtime. Vancouver just calming it down. You know, Cordingley's got a play drawn up. I wouldn't be surprised if you see this end up in the stick of Kyle Killen, maybe even Riley Lowen to put a dagger in the heart of his former team's season. As Vancouver now will come out. Killen, but again, those guys have been hot tonight, but you still have Evans, you still have Ball, you still have the high-end offensive talent that you have to worry about here on this Vancouver Warriors team, and it's go time for the big guys for Vancouver as they get a chance now to send everybody home with sadness in their faces.
Vancouver looking to keep their playoff hopes alive. Kyle Killen up top, Sean Evans out of the corner. The big offseason splash. Sean Evans, he'll drive with ball in tight, bobbles it, and Ryan Dilks has it. Dilks outlet to Church. Robert Church, 2-on-2. He'll go by himself. Robert Church towards the net. Pass back for Messenger, and he takes a cross check off the back of the head. Somehow they're going to let that fly, and Saskatchewan ends up getting it back. Messenger slow to get back to the bench. Keep an eye on that. Cross check right to the back of the net. And Matthews controls on offense. Lintner up top. Race Dutch. Circles. Robert Church far side. Doesn't miss by much. And it bounces into the stands.
Church and Matthews have each had grade A looks here in overtime. Both just missing on open opportunities. And it looks like Messenger, he's on the bench here as he's taking a minute to catch his breath after being chopped in the neck.
Keegan Ball, 95 seconds into overtime here. To Charlon Beat, he's picked on set by Martel. Pass ends up in the corner. Now Dilks is in a battle. Who can get the loose ball? Vancouver will, as Ryan Martel. As the shot clock was expiring, Bucky's got to be sharp.
This has been Ryan Dilks' best game of the year. He was hurt for a little bit, not happy with his own performance. He's been all over tonight, scooping loosies everywhere, having himself a game.
Mark Matthews, Church wide open in the slot, scores! And it send the kids to bed. Robert Church wins it in overtime.
Robert Church, Mark Matthews, the big guns for the Rush, coming up huge with the overtime winner. Right when all the momentum is in Vancouver's favor, the Rush miss a couple grade A chances. They convert. Matthews and Church. So we get another look here at the overtime winner. Matthews finds Church. Church wanted it. Church had been all over this. Quick stick, goes middle of the hips, down low. Nice and quick. The vision of Matthews to see him there, he knew where he was going even before Matthews sent that. He had the opening, And everybody loves Bobby Church right now, the overtime hero, Cody. And the Rush, only one game out of a playoff spot, and that is absolutely massive. Some of the fourth quarters they've had this year, Cody, I was worried. Not gonna lie, was not feeling optimistic. But Robert Church makes me a very, very happy man.
Robert Church, 39th of the season, 4th of the game. Jimmy Quinlan said beforehand, I'm looking at our veterans. They need to be the better player. Okay, quickly, let's take a look at our Fanatics turning point here. As you see Brett Midsky, the former Rush, shaking hands with Matthews and Church. The TSN turning point, obviously Church, he wanted it in the slot a couple seconds earlier. He had room, and Matthews does hit him. So that's your Fanatics turning point for NLLshop.com.
I love it, Cody. You can see Church is waving his stick as he's coming down the floor. He's yelling at Mark. He wants him. He wants to connect with him. He wants Mark to see him. He's doing everything he can. He might as well turned on a giant neon sign that said, Mark, give me the bleeping ball.
What a finish. Vancouver scores 5 straight. Rush. The March to May on TSN is brought to you by Alterna Savings Credit Union. Visit alterna.ca to discover the credit union difference. By NLLstore.ca, a Fanatics experience, officially licensed everything. And by Guaranteed Rate. Now more than ever, you need the best. Robert Church, 81 points on the season. None bigger than his latest goal in this one. Overtime winners, the Saskatchewan Rush beat the Vancouver Warriors 12-11. Sabina Mott is standing by with tonight's hero.
Are we all right, Robert Church, congratulations on the win. How are you feeling after that? You scored a few goals, including a hat trick.
Yeah, good. You know, we had a good 3 quarters and kind of lapse in the fourth, and they pulled the goalie a couple times and scored, and you know, we needed that one. So that was massive, and we're really pumped to get that win, and you know, hopefully go from here because we need to win them all to secure a playoff spot or even have a chance. So you know, hopefully we roll from here.
And how do you keep that momentum going?
I think winning a game like that kind of goes a long way with, you know, building confidence in our room and, you know, getting the guys feeling good. So yeah, I think we go to Georgia next week, so we got a long road trip, but that's a team we're battling for that playoff spot. So, you know, can be more excited, and you know, it's going to be a tough road from here, but we're ready.
Heading into this game tonight, what was the mindset?
Just forget about the last 5 weeks and, you know, the kind of the losing streak we've been on. You know, kind of just reset and beat a Vancouver team that's kind of turned it around lately. So, you know, that's a tough team, and you know, that was a good game. We're happy with that.
All right, thanks so much. Congratulations. Cody, John?
Vancouver had won 3 of their last 4 coming into this one. Saskatchewan 1 game back of Colorado.
Saskatchewan controlled most of this one. At the end of the night, 2 out of 5 on the power play was the difference. A good battle on the face-off dot, too. Vancouver winning 15 to the Rushers 12. Rush wanted it more, scooping more loosies, 77-71, and of course, 51-46 your final shots on goal, but the score that matters, Rush 12, Vancouver 11 in overtime.
They stop the bleeding. Vancouver had 5 straight goals in that 4th quarter. It was a team effort for Saskatchewan. Matthews with 8 points, Keenan with 4, Dutch with 3, but none bigger than Robert Church. The overtime winner, 4 goals and 3 assists. Rush moved to 6-8. 1 game back at Colorado in the playoffs. For myself, Cody Jansen, John Fraser, Sabine Vaughn, and the entire production team, so long from Saskatoon.